All right, so today I'm here to talk about the Honda some more. A couple weeks ago, I made a video about why you should own a project car, or if you should, rather. And today I'm making a video detailing if you should own a Honda CR-Z. Yes, specific car this time. The Infiniti, I thought, you know what, no one's gonna just be shopping for an Infiniti Q45 as just an every use car. That's a project car at this point. Yeah, most of the people who have a Q45, they've owned it for a while, or they just needed something for cheap, and that's what they could find. So this car, however, this is a good daily driver. So I want to explain just a few things about it, see if you guys would be liking to buy it or not. So yeah, let's get right into it. Starting off first, affordability. Yeah, these cars are very affordable actually. They're around the, well, this one was not that affordable, I'll be honest. I got it at the height of the pandemic, and yeah, these way overpriced. So yeah, don't buy a car if you happen to go back to the year 2021. But for this car, now it's probably pretty affordable. You could find similar condition CR-Zs like this for probably around the $10,000 to $12,000 range, and that is pretty affordable, if I do say so myself, for a daily driver that still has some modern amenities and still gets over 30 mpg. Now, of course, you don't have all the safety features that you would in a modern car. You don't have lane keep assist, you don't have adaptive cruise, anything like that, unfortunately. But that's okay, because at that price point, I mean, you can get stuff at that price point that probably has that. It's not going to be as reliable, though. You're going to be looking at used German cars that are bound to explode anyway. So, yeah, you know, it's whatever. But, yeah, that's just kind of the money situation there. It's a pretty affordable car, I think, anyway. Everyone has different views on money, though, and how it should be spent. So I will leave that one up to you. I'm just here to state that you could probably find a similar condition CR-Z for $10,000 to $12,000. And yeah, that is the whole financial situation there. And of course, car payments and stuff, I'm not too familiar with. You'll have to get other advice on that. But what I can tell you is that these cars are pretty great when it comes to pretty great on your wallet when you actually own them, because I'm sure I went over this in my 2-year update. I haven't had any problems with this car at all. Any. The only thing that's really troubled me at all, and I just replaced it actually, I can go show you guys that right now, is the wiper arm. Yes, I replaced that recently because when it was icy outside, I made the mistake of hitting the rear wiper, which in turn stripped all of the gearing out of the arm, and it would no longer go with the motor, and it was just free to move about, which is not ideal, as you can imagine. And I didn't realize till later that the wiper arm was completely bent also. So that's cool. Anyways, next up is really just, I guess, reliability, since we're on the subject of it. Yeah, these cars tend to be very reliable. There are no other engine options besides the 1.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with the hybrid system. So it's pretty reliable, but there is one option that you can get different in terms of powertrain, And forgive me for the stuff that's in here. Had a pool day today. It is this guy right here. The manual transmission. Yes. Usually CVTs are less reliable. I know that's kind of the thing with Nissan and their Altimas, is the CVTs are very bad. Not entirely sure what the situation for these are. I would just assume that the manuals are more reliable. Of course, it was never an option to me whether to get a automatic or a manual. It's just always was, hey, I want a manual car, because manuals are really fun and I really enjoy the driving experience of them. So that was my motivation. So sorry if I'm not too familiar with the CVTs. If you guys in the comments are, let me know. Let me know. But yeah, really reliability. This car is solid. Love this thing for that. Yeah. So let's go under the hood, shall we? Because we don't really go under the hood on this car. Well, I say that, but I literally did like last video. Oh gosh. Oh, where's the hood prop? There it is. Oh, there we go. And on the topic of reliability, let's go with maintenance. How easy is it to maintain the CRZ if you want to do it yourself? Let's talk about that. So, first things first, you're going to want to know how easy it is to do an oil change. And I'm here to tell you, it's very, very easy. I literally just did one myself. Here's the dipstick here, of course, bright orange color, hard to miss. The oil cap is there, but where is the oil filter? It's a good question, but it is right down there. You can see my Mobil 1 oil filter there, and it is extremely easy to change. Just jack the car up a little bit, and you can grab it with your hand, unlike my Infiniti, where you have to reach in here awkwardly. But yeah, that's the oil filter location. It's pretty easy to change the oil. Drain plug, also very easy to find, just on the bottom of the oil pan, exactly where you'd expect it. So oil changes, extremely easy. After doing this one, I could say I could probably get it done in less than an hour. And most of the time would just be trying to get a jack under here, because I learned this time that, oh shoot, it's too low to get a floor jack under. I need a block of wood. But I found a brick and was able to drive up on that, so that's cool. Next up, let's go engine air filter. Where's that? Right here. Very simple. Couple clips. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I actually haven't checked this myself, so there it is, engine air filter. Actually, mine's pretty clean looking. I'm sure underneath of it's not, but the top of it looks good. Oh, let me line that back up like that. And then it's just these 4 clips again as I burn myself to get it back on. Awesome. So, very simple to do maintenance on those 2 components. The cabin air filter, I believe, is also very simple. I haven't actually done the cabin air filter in this car. I probably should, but I have not for now. Trying to think if there's anything else. Obviously, your battery's right there. Very easy to just pull it out. It's a smaller battery too, because since it's a hybrid, you don't need a full-size battery right there. I'm pretty sure other hybrids do have a full-size battery there still, but this car, everything's kind of miniature. And radiator there. You got your cap there. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word cap for a second. And yes, you got belts over here. Oh, sorry, you can't see it. Belts there. Obviously, this car has no alternator, being a hybrid, so there is no alternator belt. But I would assume that those are just some sort of accessory belts. And of course, yeah, you can see for yourself just everything that's up there. Got another reservoir there, got another one there, so 2 there. You got your radiator, like I said, there, washer fluid there, oil there. And my car specifically, if you happen to have a lowered one, the suspension adjustment is right there. You just put a little key in there and start turning, and that does the suspension adjustments. So yeah, overall, maintenance not too bad. I would assume any of the other projects are a little more challenging. Okay guys, I may have made a mistake. There was one other time I went to the shop to get a repair, and it was because of my own incompetence. Like I said, this car is not the car that I've been learning to do mechanic stuff on. That would be the Infiniti. But this one, I wanted to change the suspension myself. Pretty complicated job for someone who's an idiot when it comes to turning a wrench. So what happened? I took the front coilovers off and didn't realize you need to strap the wheel hub in. Otherwise, the axle falls out of the transmission or electric drive motor, one of the two. But the axle fell out. And trust me guys, when I say this, you will not get it back on. You won't. I spent 2 days trying myself and couldn't do it. Of course, you might be able to if you want to cut the boot off or anything like that, but I wanted to try and get it on without, you know, taking the boot off. So I know what the comments will say, oh, well, there's your problem. You didn't take the boot off. But, I mean, I didn't have a boot, and it was, like, kind of Christmassy time, so places were closed. So, but anyways, yeah, make sure you strap down that wheel hub if you change the suspension. Both sides, because it'll fall out, and then bad things will happen, and then you'll waste $1,200. So, yeah, that's that. Now, I have finished talking about all the mechanical stuff related to this car, but I think that's the majority of what you guys would probably want to know when owning this too. Let's talk about the things I love. Let's talk about the top 3 things that I absolutely love owning this car. Number 1, actually, before I go on, I want to explain that these 3 things are going to be 3 things about the car relating more to the practical side of it. Because we all know, like, yes, I love the way it handles. Yes, I love the way it handles. And, yeah, I just want to talk more about the practical side of things and, how it is as a daily driver. Let's talk about those things, shall we? Number 1. This one, I never see people talk about. I would say, like, this is just my opinion. This is just what I think. But in reality, I have gotten much taller people than me's opinion on this too. You sit in the car, and I am only 5'7", so I am, I mean, less than average height, but not exactly super short. But the thing that I like about this car is the space in here. You get tons of space for the size of the car. And I have friends like Justin, he's 6'2", something like that, I'm not sure. And he'll also say, the use of space is very good in this car. You get lots of leg room and stuff. I can push the pedals all the way down, dead pedal all the way back. And of course, height to the ceiling is very acceptable. I can't really show that because for some reason Apple still hasn't made it to where you could flip your camera while you're recording. That's fun. And yeah, I mean, like, I get tons of space in between me and the airbag, and the seat's not even all the way back either, of course. And of course the passenger compartment, same deal, tons of space. And I mean, you're not bumping shoulders here either. Like, you get, even though there's no center console and it's only this wide, it's still pretty roomy, I'd say. So, number 1 thing, I really like the use of space in this car. It's well utilized for the passenger compartments, and yeah, really, it's just a nice place to be in here. Speaking of the inside, the number 2 thing that I like a lot about this car is just its surprising amount of practicality. We can come back to the trunk back here, and my car's a very poor example, as you know, because of the massive subwoofers in the back. But if these weren't here, you can fold down these fake back seats, which I know you guys in Europe and Japan, you get real seats back here. Yay! But we're fat Americans, so we don't. But yeah, if this subwoofer wasn't here, you would be surprised at the amount of stuff you can throw back here and just, you know, just store back here. Even with this here, I use the cargo divider to make a shelf, and me and Justin, like I said in a previous video, we managed to make this car into a little camper, basically, with the amount of stuff we had in it. We had enough stuff to stay a couple nights at a friend's house, so, which, you know, may not seem like a challenging thing, but it was a college house, so it's not exactly well prepared. But yeah, it's actually surprisingly practical how much space you can have back here. And I mean, I guess this is kind of like a testament to that too, because this is a big dual 12-inch box, and it fits in here, and there's still room to spare on either side, so I can open this panel, adjust the suspension, open this panel, adjust the suspension, and technically could put stuff here, but I never do, because I never want anything hitting these subs. And I still have up here, this space here, so I still have storage space, even with two 12-inch subwoofers. So all pretty cool stuff. I like the practicality of the car as my number 2 thing. And number 3 thing, what do I like about this car? It is, of course, the transmission. And I know I'd say not performance-y stuff, but hear me out. Hear me out. For a manual transmission, it is super daily drivable because, of course, you got your shift pattern there. This is a custom shift knob, so yours won't look like this. But, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, reverse. And I know I struggle a little on that 5th gear there, but trust me, when you're driving it, you won't, because then the reverse lockout will be on. Very easy to use. The gears go exactly where you expect them to. There's a 1st gear lockout if you're going too fast, so you can't money shift it into 1st accidentally. And the thing I like the most of all, the clutch pedal is super short throw. There is not much space for the clutch to go. And I know it's a little controversial, but I like that because it makes it super easy to engage and disengage the clutch. And in traffic, I'm not basically rowing a boat with my foot. I'm not like all the way back, all the way forward. I could almost keep my heel on the ground and push it all the way in. It's super easy. And of course the clutch pressure is very nice. So it's very forgiving and all of that. And of course, we got to talk about how you can completely be off the clutch in 1st gear at 3 miles an hour. So it's basically like a crawler gear almost. So even in traffic, if you're just doing a slow roll, you can be off the clutch and be fine. And even if you're in stop and go traffic, you don't have to lean on the clutch for a long time. You can just let off real quick and you will be moving. So yeah, that's the 3rd thing I like. I really like the manual transmission in this car. It's very daily drivable. But now with those 3 things in mind, let's move on to 3 things that I definitely wish were different about this car. So when I was test driving this car, I pulled over into a Walmart parking lot to check it out, make sure, hey, everything's good here. Look at all the defects of the car, all the scratches, the scrapes, stuff like that. I had someone in a CRZ, a manual CRZ, pull up to me. Keep in mind, they made less than 10,000 of these. Someone pulled up to me in a manual CRZ. I didn't see the car at first. They were just like, hey, are you going to buy that? And I was like, yeah, without turning around. I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy it. I turn around, see that they're in a manual CRZ, and I'm like, there is no way that this just happened. So that was a pretty cool experience. But I asked them, I was like, hey, what are some annoyances about this car? What do you not like about it? Because, you know, I want to get all the opinions. And the number 1 thing, and I agree with it, you can't turn off auto start stop. You can't turn it off. It's the worst, and I hate it. I wish I could turn it off forever. But in these cars, you can't do it. Every other car, there's pretty much every other car, there's a button to turn it off. You can do it. Not this one. Why, Honda? It's the most annoying thing ever. So, obviously, you can understand my frustrations with that. Auto start stop is evil, and I hate it. Yeah, but that's what she said. She said, you can't turn off the auto start stop in this car. And I'm like, uh-oh. I don't like that at all. But of course, that's not a deal breaker to me, because if you do buy a CRZ and you're at a light and you want to turn the car back on and it's auto start stopped with a manual one, I don't know how to do it on an automatic, but with a manual one, you press on the clutch and tap the gas pedal and the car will come back on. But yeah, sorry, just had to get that rant out there. I don't like that feature at all. Oh gosh. Anyways, number 2. What do I not like about this car? Number 2 thing I don't like about this car is, again, sorry, relating to performance again, but the power of it. It's not very powerful. It makes interstate merging a little scary sometimes when you can't get your way. And mid-range power especially is very weak in this car. Top end is okay because VTEC kicks in, you know, typical Honda guy here. And low range is fine because you get the hybrid motor. But mid-range, especially on the interstate doing 70, 75, stuff like that, you really have nothing. It makes it a little tricky to get out of some situations sometimes, and it's a little scary. But yeah, it really takes some getting used to with this. I mean, if you come from cars with around this power though, it should be no big deal. And number 3, the thing I don't like about the Honda is the lack of spare tire. Now I know what you're saying, Jack, this car can't fit a spare tire in it. There's no way. And I understand, you guys are right about that. There's